Pinotage can come in different shapes, different style, and we've seen over the last years uh, people trying new schools from the Burgundian winemaking, very delicate, kind of an homage to the one father or the mother of the grape, which is Pinot Noir, and not only Cinsault, to the more extracted version of it, sometimes to the extreme. I'm not even talking about the coffee or chocolate version of the wine. And now we have a Southern Rite Pinotage 2020. Very young wine, just fresh in the bottle, I assume. It's a wine origin Western Cape, even if the winery is mostly based in the Emmenada Valley or in the Walkers Bay area. It's, how do you find that wine, Cathy?
It's a very interesting wine for me. As you mentioned, Pinotage comes in many shapes and forms, but for me, what is giving me clues in the glass as to Pinotage is this blue,
The blue
tinge to the colour in the glass. If you don't know what a blue tinge looks like, try and buy a bottle of this and compare it to the Nebbiolo, which has got more the garnet tinge. And
Or
then
even
also
Pinot Noir.
Or even a Pinot Noir, and take a look at it and see what you get. So definitely the blue tinge there. It's actually very attractive with some cerise highlights. So that looks great in the glass. And then on the nose, it took a while to open up, but I'm getting strawberries on the nose, which for me does speak to Pinotage. Grenache a little bit, but also to Pinotage. Raspberry, so some darker fruits, and some hay.
Is that wrong for me to say I almost got this blood character?
Ah, sanguine, bloody, meaty,
Sanguine, yeah.
bloody, meaty character, definitely. That's what I got initially, was it was more meaty,
Yes.
but that's blown off now, and the fruits are coming to the fore.
Yeah, when you turn the wine in the glass, you have more of this raspberry coming. more
Raspberry and
prominent.
strawberry. And of course that takes it away from the more the Merlot and the Cabernet fruits.
And I find a bit of a flowery at the background, some perfumey more.
perfume, not flower. Yeah.
Perfumey.
Aha. And our perfumey is, we don't want to use the word acetone when we describe a Pinotage.
That
because
sounds bad. Acetone
it's
sounds
very
bad.
bad. And this wine certainly doesn't smell like acetone.
No.
But it has that slight chemical maybe attribute which you're picking up as perfume, which is right. So there is a definite link there to.
But
to
there's
the
always
grape.
this cetonic notes in some Pinotage
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah, always those little chemical top notes that you get. And then on the palate, sweet strawberry fruit, but the wine is beautifully dry. Lovely chalky tannins. So the tannins for me are quite fine, which I like.
It's very fresh. I
It's
mean, it's a
lovely
cool climate.
and fresh.
but-
Lovely and fresh. And then just that little hint of bitterness. But once again, not in an off-putting bitterness, just a little bit of aloe bitterness,
Yeah.
which I personally look for in a Pinotage.
Like a finishing texture on
Yeah.
the wine, which makes this wine as well for a sommelier perfect for food pairing, because whatever fat you have on your dish, this grainy finish will combine and support it and rebalance your food pairing. So, very interesting one. But I'm surprised by so much fruit, this red fruit and this juicy palate. Yes, you have this hint of, should I say bitterness, but grippiness on the finish, more on the astringent side, but not from wood, really from the grape,
From the grape,
almost
yes.
like from the pips itself. But there's a feeling of freshness and juiciness on the middle palate that I don't find in many Pinotage. I almost struggle to find Pinotage on the first drink of that Southern Rite to 2020.
Absolutely. It's not a wine that immediately speaks to you, but if you taste it carefully and unpack the components and try and imagine what other grapes would give you those components, you realize that the blue color, the strawberry and the raspberry, with that little hint of perfume or chemical lift at the back, and then the strawberry, raspberry on the palate, and the slight bitterness. That should point you towards Pinotage. And I have to say, I do like that hint of bitterness, because for me, it's the seasoning that lifts a dish.
Yeah,
And
no.
that little bit of aloe bitterness just lifts the Pinotage and makes it that much more interesting.
I think what surprised me as well is the contrast between
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
this-
opening up, sorry.
it's opening, but
opening up
there's
much
a
beautifully.
lot of fruit.
Mm.
There's a lot of fruit. It's a very well crafted wine in terms of fruit content, and people often think at Pinotage as a warm climate cultivar, but you know, yes, one of the components of the cross is Pinot Noir, and somehow it showed in the way the fruit is handled on that one and how it adapts very well to cooler climate, because it has a unique freshness to it.
It's very fresh. You know what the palate I would describe as? Crunchy. It's got that crunchy acidity, crunchy life, crunchy freshness to it.
Great for food pairing. Very interesting for blind testing.
Yes.
Not the easiest one.
Not the easiest wine in the pack.
Great one, Southern Rite 2020 Pinotage.